I mean, this story this morning that we've been looking at, it's really, really touched a nerve with us. Let's go back. Let's go back to New Year's Eve, 2012. You were in a casino and you met a guy in the casino. Tell us what happened.
Yep, it was one of those things that, you know, you would have never remembered, or it would have been nothing if thinking back on it. Like, but in hindsight, it's one of those encounters that changed my life. I was just exchanging chips, you know, from the casino. I was having a little bet, and I was in the chip line and just spoke to this guy for about 20 minutes, and it was a conversation about nothing, and I guess that conversation ended up changing my whole life.
Well, it did change your life. As you said, 6 weeks later, you had a very unwelcome visitor come to your house, a woman named Natalie. And I'm right in saying that this was the ex-wife of the guy that you were speaking to, is that right?
Correct, yes.
And she was under the impression that there was something going on between the two of you. Tell us what happened that night.
So, yeah, she was under the impression that was something going on between us. Her and a guy broke into my apartment through the back, and I had fallen asleep on the couch, and we got into a huge fight and started smoking drugs in my house, and I was like, get out of my house, and basically we were just having a really big verbal altercation, and before I even knew it, she was like, tell me where he is or I'm going to set you on fire, and before I could even go to talk, I was doused in methylated spirits and burning alive. And as I was burning, you know, I stopped, dropped and rolled, because over here in Australia we have this like a big, I don't know, like, mascot type thing called Constable Care, who teaches you about stop, drop and roll. So my survival instinct kicked in and I stopped, dropped and rolled. And as I was rolling, this girl and guy watched me burn alive and laughed at me and then fled through the back. And by the time I got up from rolling, I was 10 times worse on fire. I looked like that guy from Fantastic Four, was just engulfed in flames, like I could just see flames. And I was screaming so loud for help. I lived in a high-rise building, and I remember the guy that lived in the whole entire high-rise next door, like a whole nother building, heard me screaming so loud that he actually came into the building and came into my apartment, and he was like, listen, sweetheart, my name's Dennis Erickson and I'm here to help you. And he says, I remember him saying to me, we have to get you underwater. And I was like, no, you know, I heard if you go underwater, you blister, and I didn't want to get disfigured. I feel like that's the most stupidest thing I could have ever said, like how dumb and ignorant could have I been.
And Dana,
but I mean, I got into the shower anyway.
Let me just say as well, Dana, we're actually going to show some pictures now. So this is just a little warning to our viewers that these are quite unsettling, these pictures. These are the pictures of you in the hospital. It's absolutely horrific what we're seeing now, Dana. You suffered 60-degree burns to literally your whole body. You actually, sorry, third-degree burns to 60% of your body. You were in hospital. You were put into a coma for 2 weeks. So obviously you don't remember any of what happened there. Whilst this was going on, what was your family thinking? What was your friends thinking?
To be honest, no one even knew. Like, no one knew what happened or why it happened. And I guess they were just hoping I was going to survive, because I'd actually died a couple of times. And they were just praying I was going to live. And also praying that I wasn't going to be brain damaged. No one knew the true severity of how badly damaged I was. But I actually woke up from my coma, and my sister was playing the song Step by Step, you know, the Whitney Houston Step by Step song. And I remember waking up to that, and I was like mouthing the words along with her, and then she was just, her tears were falling from, like, because she was obviously above me from my bed, her tears were falling down onto me, and then she was like singing the song along with me, and then I just remember going, Svet, shut up, you can't sing. But like, and then everyone just cracked up laughing, but also like cried of relief, because they knew that I didn't have brain damage.
And Dana,
So
it's been a long road to recovery for you, hasn't it? But looking at you today, you look amazing.
Oh, thanks. I've worked really, really, really hard. To say really hard is an understatement, but thank you.
No, you do. And, I mean, we do have to say Natalie was convicted. She was sentenced to 17 years imprisonment. You say, Dana, that you have no remorse. You've got no remorse. You don't hate the woman for doing what she did. How... I mean, to be honest, from someone who's looking in onto this story, how can you not?
I get what you mean. It's not like I'm not angry or anything like, but I don't have
course.
hate for anyone because hate is so toxic. When I was younger, I learned a long time ago, and I'm so glad that I learned that then, not now, because I think this whole journey would have been completely different. I learned not to hate, and hate takes up all your body and mind, and it's toxic, and you're the only person that suffers when you hate. The other person's not affected. They don't even know that you're hating. So I'm really glad that I learned that before my burn, because otherwise I think this whole journey would have been completely different. I just don't hate anyone. It's not in me. I decided to use all that energy on being positive and focusing on my recovery. Again, though, if you ask my family and friends, it's another story.